Relay, no mistakes from France so far. They're going very well. Dorothee Vera keeping things under control, but she knocks 5 down, as she so often does. Norway with Sulundal go 10 with 10. Great shooting from Sulundal. Egan's having a bit of a disaster for the USA. A little disruption out on the tracks with the broken pole, and having to work hard to stay in contention. Innerhofer, who did so well for Austria on the first third of the race, now starting to lose it. She's already incurred a penalty loop. Others going well. Canada get back up into the top 10. Estonia should join them, and Finland might just make it.
USA, and unfortunately on the penalty loop, and of course in Oberhof last week they were leading after 2 laps. 2 athletes, I should say, 2 legs.
Austria, USA on the penalty loop. 3 laps for Egan. That's 2 laps, that last one going down. So 300 extra meters to ski, and I'd be surprised if we see them get back up into the top 10. Such a shame to throw it away at this stage of the race. Magnussen.
Oh, it's tough. There's Zingerli, the mastermind of the man who has really created this brilliant Italian team now.
Yeah, he must be enjoying himself nowadays.
Yeah, put many years in as an athlete. I think he was 20 years on the Junior and then World Cup tour.
Julia Simon is going to have the honour of recording the fastest leg, but good work done by Dorothee Vera, and that should stand her in good stead for the mass start tomorrow, where she tries to defend her yellow bib as the World Cup leader. Can't see her losing it before we head to Antolz. In fact, I think it's impossible. We'll just check on the scores while we watch those teams going through the first exchange. France, Italy, Norway, the top 3. Only 15 seconds between them. The Czech Republic at 4. Ukraine 5. Still very much in this. Anyone within a minute, Mike, got a chance?
Still got a chance, absolutely. Where have we got? Even Gasparin, 118. That's a little far behind at this moment. Americans with Dunkley, I think they can pull back from 17 up to the top 10 with Susans if she has a good performance on the range.
Sweden going out in 9, and disappointing start for Sweden, but if you're going to make or have a bad leg, have it on the first one. Give your other 3 athletes a chance to make up for it. Brorson, Persson, and then Öberg of Sweden taking the last leg here in Rupolding. Always in the shade at this time of the day, which is great news for the tracks. Not such good news for the crowd. They you know, at -5, gets a bit chilly after an hour and a half.
A little bit chilly indeed. France looking good. Italy, Norway.
Best shooting so far. France, Italy, Norway, and Ukraine haven't missed a target. First couple of shots from the 2 leaders. Prone position again. Out comes the dramatic music. France lane 1, Italy 2. And the wind relatively steady at the moment. Shot for shot. It's all about concentration. And Béchamp loses it. That's just the little advantage that Italy needed. Now, if this doesn't go down, that's going to be a 10-second gap. She's got it, but will be a little annoyed with herself that she let shot number 5 go. Tandrevold of Norway shooting left-handed.
It looked to me Béchamp was almost reaching for the spare round before she'd actually left the trigger.
Well, a high standard of shooting, it has to be said, by the leading teams. Norway still clear. Russia with a miss early on. Germany and Dahlmeier missing. Was that the first or the last shot that missed for Dahlmeier, Mike?
It was the last, and she was looking so smooth, but I think she ran out of air.
Yeah. Well, that's the price of chasing. And in the relay, you have no choice but to chase if you're behind. You just have to take the risk. And that probably is exactly why Italy and France were taking things at 85% rather than 95% for the first lap.
Exactly, and it worked for them. But also when you're a little race rusty, like Dahlmeier missed the Oberhof World Cup, missed a huge amount of races this season, she still doesn't quite have her timing on the rifle.
So the gap between second and third has gone from 14 seconds back up to 24. Yeah, he's being shown a lot of respect by the rest of the biathlon tour, simply by the ski times he's recording and how he's dug himself out of trouble a few times this year. Now, France this time in lane 1. Anaïs Béchamp, remember, missed 1 in the prone, but only needed 1 spare. Watch the end of the barrel.
Sanfilippo, I like the way she backed off in terms of pace, and she didn't stress or rush at all getting into position.
Deschamps with 83% hit rate this year. She makes it 105 out of 5 here. Sanfilippo with a 70% hit rate could be in trouble in the closing stages. Italy's second place could disappear if Tandrevold is on form. Slovakia with Paulina Fialkova might fancy their chances of going up into second place. It's all looking very good for France at the moment. Already 11 seconds. Finally, the last one goes down, so Italy hold on to second, but they're going to have Fialkova hot on their heels. Norway now with Tandrevold in a spot of bother. The crowd responding to Daumar's targets. They like it, and so they should. Great shooting from Daumar. She didn't ski quite as quick on that last loop as the first one, maybe learning a lesson. Now she can show us what she can do over the last 2K.
Tandrevold, Norway in third place. They were at 27 behind. The whole shape of this race has changed now. Luckily, she got that last shot.
They avoid the penalty loop. So having been clean up until shoot number 4, they go and miss 3 targets in all. Belarus are definitely on the penalty loop. Ukraine are highly likely. Russia, they should avoid it. They've got 1 shot, 1 target.
The strange thing, Patrick, there's very little, in fact, no wind influence whatsoever, and I think the athletes are taking more risk. Yes, they've got 3 spare rounds. They're shooting very fast, but very quickly picking up errors. Susan Dunkley, 2 targets left, 2 bullets left.
Finland in a similar situation. The first, it's been a fine performance by Anaïs Pichon. Justine Brezard is ready to go on leg number 3. Brezard still a youngster at 22 and is 23rd in the World Cup standings at the moment. Had a really good sprint race here a couple of days ago. Finished 7th, shot the perfect score. If she can do the same again, surely she'll be able to hold on to the lead. Italy still there in second. My goodness, with Lisa Vitozzi, they would have been really in contention, well, as it is Gontier and Rungaldier.
But in the end, it was Polyakova. Well, Polyakova now, of course, Fialkova, Paulina, moving up into second place.
Yeah, and don't forget Slovakia has Kuzmina on the last leg, who won the sprint, got her first win here in Rupollding in that sprint event. So I think the Slovakian fans here will be very, very happy. What about the Germans? They're down in 4th position, 42.7 behind. Daumar further behind than she was at the first exchange, so it's not brilliant news in terms of her form, but she needs a bit of racing, having missed the first part of the season and of course missing last week in Oberhof. Norway down in 5. They've now got Eckhoff and Roysland, so they've got 2 of the fastest skiers on the tour on legs 3 and 4.
And Eckhoff, she always lifts her game when it comes to a relay. She attacks, she fights so hard out on the track. So Norway definitely not out of it at 53 behind yet, certainly for a medal.
OK, Mr. Dixon, give us the podium.
Podium, I fancied France at the beginning of the day. I'll have to stick with that. I will, let's have a look. Kreutz and Hermann. I'm not over fancying the top of the podium for Germany. The top 10, they're ranked 14th.
So France looking to hold on to their 27-second cushion over Italy, Slovakia, Norway and Germany back at 49. France have only missed 1 target so far. Low left.
At the end of the rifle, so steady. She could pull that trigger much earlier. In fact, sometimes when you delay on the trigger, it causes a miss. She's on it. Look how steady the sight is, the end of the barrel, but she's playing safe.
So that's 6 seconds at least gone. We could be down to a gap of under 25, and Italy second in with Nicole Gontier has to shoot better than she did in this sprint event.
Oh, there was a definite twitch, a flinch, and that time again. So maybe the memories of last week are still there. They must be.
Yeah, it's looking horribly like penalty loops for Italy. There's the first, and this is when your mind starts to play games. She's now thinking about Oberhof.
I really feel for her. Just 1 out of 5. It's not great biathlon. She's much better than that. But what about Germany?
Yeah, great shooting from Franziska Preutz. She rattled through those 5, and Germany and Slovakia coming out pretty much side by side. Italy are now out of contention. 2 penalty loops at least. They may have 3. That's a real shame. A real shame. But without Vitozzi, they're still one short of a world-class relay team. And that day will come. The sport getting bigger and bigger. Switzerland, we haven't mentioned them in the whole race so far, Mike, but they're starting to come back into it with Elisa Gasparin shooting well and fast. Russia keep themselves in with a chance of a top 3, possibly more likely to be top 5. And Irina Starek, who'll hand over to Erlova. So the Russians have a good second half to this relay.
So happy with Team Canada. 5th position, just 57 seconds behind on the 3rd leg. Great day for Canada.
Now, have you changed? But just doesn't have the shooting.
Yes, I think her strategy, shooting slowly, is the best strategy. She's the least experienced biathlete in the whole field. Hermann, the anchor for Germany.
26 targets now, and only 2 have been missed from the French. This is beautiful. That's okay.
That's okay.
No real pressure. If this misses, that changes things.
Breza, she lost her way with shooting in December. She's got it back in January.
Great reflexes. She'd hardly got the stock in the shoulder, and that round had gone. Saw it, let it go. She'd win a few teddies in the fairground.
Oh, yeah, good timing. All biathletes have got exceptional timing. Bad start for Germany.
Tirolekov, it's looking good. These are the thinking shots that count on the rifle. 5 with 5, and Norway are going up in a 2nd place. And Preutz now. What is she going to hand to Denise Herrmann? I think actually, Mike, ironically, it's better that the pressure is off Herrmann initially. Down in 3rd, there's not so much expectation. If Preutz handed over in 1st, you could almost guarantee a meltdown from Herrmann.
Do you know, I think you're right. So the pressure's off, but the clock isn't great at 41. Still in the medals, Germany. They won't want bronze, they want silver or gold.
Oh, Russia had a chance to get back. And they would have only been 15 seconds or so off the podium slots, but the last one going wide and the next one. So opportunity being thrown away by Irina Starek. Remember, Russia ranked 1 in the relay so far this year after 2. Sweden are back in contention. If one of the leaders has a meltdown.
Polyakova struggling, was 3rd position. Now we're out of the top 5 potentially. She's taking forever on the last shot.
Oh, this could be the end for Slovakia. Kuzmina's great, but she's not going to be able to work miracles here today in Rupoldi. There's a penalty loop for Slovakia. I wish we had a camera on Kuzmina's face. She'll be bitterly disappointed.
And Polyakova, I did wonder why they didn't put on paper their weaker link in 2nd place. That's a good place to put your less favoured athlete. Well done, Gontier.
Well, I saw that as well, and I thought that the chances were that Ivona Fialkova was going to lose a lot of ground, so they wanted to get somewhere near the front by putting Paulina next.
Yes, you need to be in it, I agree, early on, but this is when the race gets extremely serious and you need contenders.
Italy back into 8th, but still down in, 2 minutes behind.
Coaching the French, he's watching too. But yes, the Norwegian men will be probably sat in their hotel watching this, and I think they'll be very impressed with their Norwegian women.
18 minutes or so to go here in Rupoldi, and it's France who have a cushion. It's not a huge one, but it just allows them maybe one mistake on the first prone, and they'll be able to hold on to their lead. But Roysland of Norway is every bit as quick as Anaïs Chevalier of France, and Germany, well, they've got perhaps the fastest skier of all on the last leg, Denise Herrmann. But she falls into a familiar bracket. Those who come from a cross-country background, they can ski themselves out of trouble, but they can shoot themselves back into it.
That Roysland will take that 14 seconds deficit down to what? Maybe 6 as they come into the range?
Well, here's the second group, so plenty of competition for the minor placings, and Sweden, who are trying to hold on to their third ranking in the relays, going well. Hanna Öberg goes on the final leg for them, the Olympic individual champion, who's not having a bad season. Oliver, you'll recognise, wearing #1 for Russia. And Team 11, who've exceeded expectations today with Susanna Meinen on the last leg. It's Switzerland, but they have put their best skiers first, so it could all go wrong for the Swiss. That gives someone else an opportunity. The likes of Estonia, Greta Game goes on the last leg for them. They've done exceptionally well to get this far, and they've only missed six targets so far.
I think it's great news for Estonia. They need something. I mean, they're probably one of the smaller budget teams out here, and it's hard to compete without money. And they're seventh, sorry, at the moment.
Italy at 2:03. Well, a top 5, I guess, is the best that they can hope for. But they're going to have to hope it goes horribly wrong for some of the leading teams. Canada from 5th, they've dropped down into 10th. Now contending with Poland and Austria and Belarus, so still a top 10 is going to be very tough for them. Mean much in this sort of situation. You have to say that with the crowd, Germany have that extra little bit of pressure. With the lead, France have a little bit of pressure. Maybe it's Norway's turn to take advantage.
Look at the right leg. It's exactly in line with the barrel, and the spine was absolutely perfectly straight, which it needs to be. No tension. Oh.
Fantastic rhythm, fantastic result for the French, and Germany and Norway will have to wait. But first, they have to match the French. They don't want a margin of over 20 seconds. Hermann with her first miss, and that forces Roisland wide. Pretty sure she was distracted by the noise of Hermann's target. So from 14 seconds, it's going to be closer to 24, and Norway in second place on their own. Hermann lost the lead in the last relay in Oberhof.
Not bad for the least experienced biathlete in this race in terms of the time she's been competing in biathlon. That was a great job from Hermann.
So Chevalier, Roisland, Hermann, France, Norway, Germany, the leading 3 teams, just over 30 seconds between them. Welcome back to Rupollding. The leading 10, 11 teams now out of the range after their first shoot. If they have a meltdown, then it becomes Norway versus Germany. We will see. Chevalier, very, very confident, 25. She's 5th in the World Cup standings, which tells you a lot about her performance. And her last 3 individual races have gone 2, 3 and 7. She is on form. She's on fire, but there's the first miss. And the first chink in the armour.
Oof, she composed herself well, didn't let that one shot miss touch her brain in negativity.
She'll be away before the others have got any. Oh. She is. Brilliant shooting from Chevalier. She secures the win. Third relay, third different winner for the season.
Roisland missed the 4th shot. Hermann's missed the 2nd and the 3rd.
Now, this is where 3rd place could come up for grabs. Hermann did 2 penalty loops in Oberhof last week. Norway are away. 2nd place secured. 3 misses so far. 2 rounds, 2 targets. Germany may well find themselves off the podium if they do more than 1 penalty loop. Sigh of relief from the crowd.
Imagine the pressure. 1 shot, 1 target.
Yes or no? There's your answer. She gets them. They can't ask for much more than that. They know that the standing shoot is her weakness. But to hit 5 from 8 targets with 20,000 fans eyeballing your target, I think that's pretty commendable.
Do you know, I think she's passed all the tests, and she may well be included in the World Championship relay team.
But will she take the last leg?
Well,
surely not.
She's coping. It's a high-risk strategy. Öberg. Rapid.
She's on fire. Her prone shoot was quick and accurate.
She was nearly out there. She was closing her sights and everything. She thought that 5th shot was a hit.
Luckily for her, Oliver has made a mistake. So Öberg was going to have a shot at chasing Hermann, but not now. The margins are bigger than we've seen for 4 years here in Rupollding.
And behind them, still coming in. In fact, coming in now, you'll see Kuzmina. She's done so well from 18th to 7th into the range.
That penalty loop costing Slovakia a chance at a podium. keep an eye on Slovakia's target, Anastasia Kuzmina. Brilliant performance in the sprint to win here.
Beautiful control, Kuzmina.
Just running out of oxygen for that last shot, but that was a good shoot. Now, let's see what she can do on the last lap. Between 7 and 17, we only had 20 seconds.
4 spare rounds, the French team. And that's the best performance of the whole day from any of the nations, even beating Ukraine with 7 spare rounds.
They were, of course, the bronze medalists from the Olympic Games last year. They secure the win here in Rupolving. They started the day ranked 4. They get 60 points. They move on to 1-4-8. Norway, is that their best of the season? It is by some stretch. So they've gone 6-4-2. And Germany, who were second last time out in Oberhof, they stay on the podium. So since 2013, they have not been off the podium. Fantastic results.
I like that little, that gentle celebration from Hermann. She's so relieved that they are on the podium, and so are the spectators.
I think she's so relieved that all 5 targets fell. Well done to France. Simon, Béchon, Brezat and Chevalier done well. She shot brilliantly. I know she threw the last one wide in the stand, but 9 misses in all for Sweden. And France, by far and away, the best team out on the range. 4 misses only. Russia, it was an impressive victory from them in Oberhof, but coming in 5th, this is their worst result of the year. Pretty difficult to pick a world champion. Who's going to take the title in Östersund?
Well, it's a tough one to call. You know, there's so many races between now and then. Yes, there's a 2-week gap before the World Championships, which, you know, it's almost recovery time for the 2 weeks off.
Kuzmina gaining 11 places on the last leg. She's still on form. And Austria, who had a disaster with Innerhofer on the very first lap, get their way back to 7th. So that's been a good fight from them. They've just got to make sure you get 4 performances, not 3. Easier said than done. Vitkova of the Czech Republic. They were competitive for a long time. Can't remember which leg it went wrong. I think it might well have been leg number 2 with Yislava. But apologies to her if it wasn't.
Yes, they certainly there. The rest of the teams, Slovenia, Bulgaria and Korea, have been lapped. But good to see Japan there coming in 19th.
So France, Norway, Germany, the 3 teams on the podium. Sweden just missing out this time round, ahead of Russia. Slovakia, who were up the front for so long, ending up in 6th after a poor 3rd leg. And Italy, who led in the early stages with Dorothy Vera, in the end down in 11th place, almost 3 minutes off the pace of the French.